So we're going to create a new automation here, and we are going to start this off by talking about how do we track and document that conversion, okay? Now, forgive my slow internet a little bit today. Okay, so remembering back our principles of campaign development, building campaigns and developing automations comes down to our 3 steps, right? Step 1, how do they get into that campaign? And that's our quantifier, our goal to start off this onboarding for a customer. Now, if you're using Keap invoicing, we would be using the purchase goal to track when they purchase that invoice, that checkout page, that reoccurring charge, right? Within the purchase goal, when we right-click and view and edit, that allows us to make this goal work very, very specifically or very, very generically, depending on how we want to have that happen, right? So when we click into that purchase goal, it's going to give us that settings. Hey, do you want to look for a specific product or series of products? Do you want to look for a category of products? Like, think of like socks. Anybody buys a sock, I want to send them to the sock campaign, something like that. Or if you want to be any purchase, hey, whenever anybody buys something, I want to send them a thank you. That's the kind of different flavors that you have when you're identifying how do we want to get, those particular paying customers into Keap. Okay. Hi, Fiona. Welcome. What we're talking about, Fiona, is we're talking about the onboarding campaign automation for when a person becomes a paying for customer. So that's the one strategy if we're using Keap for payments. But what happens if we're not using Keap for payments? That's cool. Everybody, different strokes, different folks, right? Keap still needs to get told when that person pays. So we would still need to put some type of, some piece of information, a piece of data. The easiest one to kind of go with that gives you the most flexibility would be a tag, right? Because tags can be applied by us users. Tags can be applied by the system. Tags can be applied by integrations. So it's a lot more flexible when you're having to do that manually. So same thing with tags. When you right-click and view and edit it, it's going to ask you what type of tag you're looking for. This gives you the opportunity to create tags for your different products. Let's say you had service A, right? You could make a tag, paid for service A tag, and use that to identify those people here to create that follow-up. Make sense so far?
Yep.
Awesome. So tags are a little bit more complex. You have the ability to select individual tags or multiple tags at the top. And then you also have the ability to select tag categories. Now, for our purposes of this onboarding campaign, this tag category would almost be like an any purchase from the purchase goal, because it would be any tag within that category that you identify, right? So it'd be like if you had a tag, a purchased tag category that you would have all your tags for when they purchase something, you could say, hey, if they've had anything in that purchase category, that triggers this off. And that would act very similarly to the any purchase. Make sense? So once we identify what product that we're tracking to get them into this follow-up, then we configure the goal to document that. Now we get into our automation, our step 2, which is what do we want to do with that, right? When these new purchases happen, these new customers, right? These goals track customers. Well, track when a contact pays and becomes a customer. How's that? That makes that a little bit easier. So these goals down here track when that contact pays and becomes a customer, right? Then they go into our sequence where we follow up with this new customer, right? Now, this gets wildly different for everybody's business, right? So inside the sequence, we want to think of this very tactically, right? One step at a time.